everybody. Thank you very much for watching the show tonight. We're lucky enough to be joined in the studio by Mr. Buzz Ramsey and Mike West. Mike is also a well-established guide in Southwest Washington, but do you expand from there at all, or do you stay in Southwest Washington?
I try and keep them at home, you know.
Is there a primary river that you like to spend your time on that you would be willing to mention, or?
Sure. I mostly spend my time on the Kalama, and then I bounce over to the North Fork of the Lewis, maybe the Cowlitz a little bit.
Okay, gotcha.
And
gotcha.
I do some other rivers too, the East Fork of the Lewis, the Washougal.
Any reports from the East Fork, Lewis?
Well, there's always some wild fish to be caught over there. We're pretty much out of hatchery fish unless they're strays.
Right.
So.
I used to fish that river a lot. Love that river. Daybreak was one of my favorite places in the world to run bobber and jig. It's a long time ago now. Things have changed.
Home of the state record.
You know, I've heard that before.
Steelhead, 32 pounds, I think 4 ounces, if I remember right.
I would literally die on the spot. If I saw a steelhead that I thought was a Chinook and then realized it was actually a steelhead, I would just keel over right there. Okay, well, I've got questions still about this 4.0. Because for me, over the years, with one of your plugs that you developed, of this size, I have caught so many fish on this size, springers that is, on this size of a plug, that I have really, in the last handful of years, have found that smaller plugs outfish in a lot of situations, and we've talked about this before, will outfish big plugs, all right? Now it takes the right water, right location, this and that. But this 4.0, being able to dive up to 20 feet, no diver in front of it, all right, which is really cool. I do feel that you can catch more fish at times without a diver in front of it. Is this a Springer plug, fall Chinook plug?
I think it'll catch everything. It's in the salmon arena. It should catch everything. And I think some of the guides are already talking after being at the Pelp Show and rubbing shoulders with a lot of the Peninsula guides, trophy steelhead up there.
Sure.
They're saying, oh, yeah, I'll catch steelhead on that.
Really?
So, yeah, trophy steelhead, salmon, that's really what this is targeted at.
It's just the perfect size plug. So I'm really impressed with it. I can't wait to have a chance to fish it. Mike and I were picking through the 4 or 5 that he brought in. He's like, I said, well, which color do you want? And oddly enough, not odd, I guess not. You know more about it than I do, Mike. But he picked the white and the pink. And you made a pretty interesting comment. When they don't necessarily want, you know, maybe more common colors for plugs, that we are probably guilty of being the ones fishing it more often than the fish, okay? But you did say that this white and pink can be very effective when other plugs might not be so appealing.
Sometimes low light. Sometimes, you know, you'll get to your favorite salmon hole. You know they're there. You run your plugs into them, and no. And that's when I pull that one out.
And it gets bit sometimes.
Not all the time, but a lot of times it does. They like that. And it is the most popular finish, salmon plug finish on the Sacramento River in California is that one.
Really?
Which is why it's in the line. And it's,
okay, guys,
it goes unnoticed up this way, but I got a few in my tackle box.
Well, a very good friend of mine, Marty Serby, who watches the show every so often, is famous for fishing off-color plugs. Colors that you look at and go, what are you thinking, dude? Yank, and he gets bit all the time.
Yeah.
And this might be one of those colors. But myself, I went right after the chrome. I just went right to the easy one. I thought, you know, the chrome is a beautiful color. So very interesting plug. I'm looking forward to having a chance to fish it. And believe it or not, probably be fishing it in another couple of weeks for springers around here.
Yep. Yeah. It should be, to me, it's the ideal size for springers, of course. This is a season right ahead of us, so that's kind of exciting that we could time this introduction for the sports show and for the springer season.
No, it'll be interesting. Now, this year at the Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show, I have to say it correctly, for whatever reason, there's no river there this year, so you won't be able to do your test, but you're still doing all those seminars that you've done in the past.
Yep.
And if I remember right, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday that you're doing
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I got the times here because I can never remember. But I'm going to do a PowerPoint presentation in the Blue Theater, so it's upstairs over by the will call entrance is kind of how you access it. 2:30 on Thursday, I'll do an hour PowerPoint presentation on spring Chinook, 4:30 on Friday, and 1:30 on Saturday.
Okay.
So I'm going to do three seminars instead of 6, so no Steelhead River this year.
No, which sucks. You know what really sucks is I never got a chance to go in there and play in the damn thing.
Really?
No! Every time I asked, I was like, hey, can I get in there and make
after doing that for 3 or 4 years, I figured out that if you're the first seminar, they bite better than the last seminar.
Yeah, but that time they've been picked on a little bit. It was really cool, and maybe someday somebody will sponsor that again. But let's have a little bit of fun. We're talking about the Sportsman Show, so let's go ahead and give away our last pack. Right, guys? I'm doing this correctly. Our last pack of 2 tickets for the Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show. That starts on Wednesday this year, as always. But 5th caller on that Ram hotline, y'all know what the number is. We're going to send you 2 tickets that you can use over at that Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show. We'll be right back.